Hi everyone, this is Annindita Palaus, and today's video is about Reiki symbols. One of the questions that gets asked very commonly, especially by people who are interested in Reiki but don't really know much about Reiki, haven't studied and practiced Reiki, is about the Reiki symbols. And what are Reiki symbols? How do they work? And do they even work, actually? So here is how I like to explain Reiki symbols. In my personal opinion, Reiki symbols are like tools. They're exactly like tools. So if you think about any tool that you use in your household, for instance, let's say the washing machine. The washing machine is a tool that helps you to wash your clothes without spending too much of your time and energy. It helps you to save your physical labor, and it does that for you. Similarly, a toaster or an electric iron. All these tools, all these gadgets, they're supposed to make our lives easier, not harder. I mean, I'm pretty sure that you would all agree that if a tool or any of these gadgets that you use on your daily basis, if they make your life harder, then you would not be using them. So the same applies to Reiki symbols. The reason Reiki symbols came into being is, and again, this is partly my speculation and some of it, of course, what I have read in various Reiki books. And I haven't honestly read too many books on Reiki, but based on the Reiki trainings that I have taken, and I have taken a lot of Reiki trainings because I have learned Usui Reiki, Celtic Wisdom Reiki, Self Love Reiki, Empowerment Reiki, so many different Reikis I've learned. I was going through this phase when I was just so much in love with Reiki that I just wanted to learn every kind of Reiki that there is. And I think I ended up learning like 7, 8 different types of Reiki and learning all the 3 levels. So after a while, after that, I realized that at the end of the day, all the essence of all of these different Reiki is really the same. The only thing which was changing was just the symbols. So then I stopped learning so many different branches of Reiki. There is no harm in learning different types of Reiki. It's like trying vanilla ice cream, chocolate ice cream, strawberry ice cream. At the end of the day, it's all ice cream, but the flavor is different. That's how I like to describe it. So coming back to the symbols, what I realize is just these different branches of Reiki, it's really in a sense the same teachings, but they are using different symbols. In the olden time, in Mikao Usui's time, when people didn't really understand concepts about energy, back at that time, it was hard for people to grasp something that is so non-physical in nature. Because, and I'm sure you would agree that over the centuries, humanity as our consciousness level has risen. It has gone higher. And so our capability today to understand certain spiritual concepts is much more broader. Our horizons have expanded much more. We understand many more non physical things better today than our ancestors understood hundreds of years ago. And a simple example for this would be Wi Fi. Today, kids are born Wi Fi ready. They don't feel like, oh my god, Wi Fi is magic. They're just born into it. But imagine going back in time 100 years. Wi Fi would be magic and cell phones would be magical. So, if you bring somebody, if there would be a time machine and if you could actually bring your ancestors back from that time to this time, every single thing around us, they would find every single thing magical. Because back at their time, they didn't have understanding about how energy works, how data travels through time and space. So all of this would be completely magical for them, unimaginable. But today, all these things are imaginable, and not just imaginable, very, very normal. So the same thing applies even to Reiki and the ideas and concepts behind Reiki. Reiki is essentially an energy healing modality. It is not a physical healing modality such as massage therapy, acupuncture, acupressure, or surgery, where you are actually dealing with the person's physical body. With Reiki, you are working with the person's energy body. But back in that time, the whole idea of something being non-physical and energy, commonly people didn't discuss about these things. It was not common knowledge. Yes, there were saints and sages and yogis in the ancient times, and they knew about all these things and they wrote about all these things, but common people, it was still not common knowledge. And understanding non-physical energy that was just way beyond anybody's understanding. So, in order to make this non physical idea more physical, so people would relate to it, so people can actually use it and not feel weird about it. Even the whole idea of having an idol for worshipping in temples or churches or any other place of worship is actually essentially that. Because we as humans, we are just so physically involved all the time that it is hard for us to grasp certain non-physical concepts, even though today we are able to understand them better. But even then, we still do require physical representations of something that is non-physical. So, and that is why we all like to have an image of God, even though nobody might have actually seen. Yes, there have been many incarnations of God in many different forms. And again, based on your religion and your religious beliefs, you might choose to differ. But my point is that we all, as humans, we are so physically focused that we love to have a physical representation of non-physical ideas, non-physical energy. And that's exactly what Reiki symbols are. They are a physical representation of non-physical energy concepts, non-physical energy. And so there are different branches of Reiki, and based on which branch of Reiki you learn and follow, you will learn different symbols. And there are no specific Reiki symbols which are more powerful than the symbols that you learn from any different branch of Reiki school that you might be learning from. What I mean is, if you have learned Celtic Reiki and the symbols in Celtic Reiki, it doesn't mean that those symbols are more powerful than Usui Reiki, or Usui Reiki symbols are more powerful than Celtic Reiki, because Usui Reiki was the very first type of Reiki that was taught by Mikao Usui. Because the way these symbols work, they work through your own energy and intention. So the more you use a certain symbol, the more it gets energized with that specific energetic quality, that energetic signature or vibration, so to speak. So every single time you use a symbol, it acts as an invocation of that energy, whatever energy and intention that particular symbol has been used for ages. And that is how the symbols derive their power from. It derives power from your intention and the intention of all the teachers and practitioners and students who have been using it and using it over years and years and years. And therefore, the symbols which are commonly used in Reiki, they are so powerful and they work because they have been really charged up with a certain intention by a lot of people. That being said, sometimes people ask if it is absolutely essential to use Reiki symbols during a healing session. Because for some people, memorizing these symbols is easy and natural. For others, it is not so easy and natural to memorize the symbols. And some of the Reiki symbols can be pretty complicated to memorize. So here is what I generally suggest. If you find it easy and natural to memorize these symbols and use them in your healing session, then go for it. If you don't find it easy to memorize them, and if you find yourself constantly getting distracted while using a symbol, because you start second guessing yourself that, did I draw the symbol correctly? Was this dash supposed to be here? Or was it supposed to be there? Was there a dot here? And then you start questioning yourself, and then you start questioning if you're doing everything correctly, if the healing session will work properly because you didn't do the symbol exactly the way it is supposed to be. If you're getting caught up in all that mental chatter during a healing session, then my recommendation would be to stop using the Reiki symbols and just stick to using your intention. Because it is your intention that actually activates the symbols. So again, I was talking about the tools. The Reiki symbols, they are tools which are supposed to help you focus the energy and attention on a specific intention. However, the tools are of no use if they are not serving its purpose. So if it is not making your life any easier, then don't use them. So not everybody likes using symbols, and some people just love to use symbols. It is totally up to you to decide whether you want to use symbols or not. So basically, Reiki symbols are tools that help you focus your energy and intention. But if you don't like to use them, then feel free to not use them. In fact, if you are called to a different symbol for a certain intention in mind that you have, then feel free to use your own symbol. And the more you start using that symbol in your healing session, and this is actually a meditation practice, a meditative exercise that I actually lead my students in my Reiki workshops as well as in my Reiki home study programs. There is a Reiki meditation where I lead them through this guided journey where they come up with their own symbol. And I highly encourage you to do the same, because most of the Reiki masters who have been teaching the Reiki symbols from the various different Reiki schools, whether it is Soy Reiki, Celtic Reiki, Atlantic Reiki, there's so many, Dolphin Reiki, Self-Love Reiki, there's so many different types of Reiki these days. And if you read a little bit about these different types of Reiki, you will find that in most of these cases, and in fact, at least the ones that I have learned, in all of those cases, the Reiki masters came up with the symbols during a meditation session, just like Usui Reiki. He downloaded these symbols after 21 days of meditation and fasting. So you can do the same. You don't have to fast for 21 days on a mountaintop in order to come up with your own healing symbols, or symbols which are your representation for connecting to this source energy, the source of Reiki. And so I have provided a very easy to follow guided meditation in my Reiki program. And even if you are not part of that Reiki program, you don't need to have that exact meditation. You can do your own meditation and connect with the source energy and come up with your own symbol. And the more you start using that symbol in your healing session with that specific intention that that symbol resonates with, the more you will be energizing it. Just like crystals, using crystals in a Reiki session, it is energized using your energy and intention. The symbols are very much the same. The symbols will be energized and it will be more effective the more you use it, because it is your energy and intention that is empowering the symbols. So I hope this video was helpful for those who had any questions about Reiki symbols and how they work, what they are. And if you like this video, then like it, share it with your friends and family who might be interested in this topic. And if Reiki is something that you are interested in learning, then I highly recommend that you check out the link in the description below. I also have a number of videos on various topics related to Reiki. You can check them all out in my playlist right here. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.